Today I want to introduce you to the TBS Unify Pro 32 HV. So inside of the packaging you get the VTX, you get the antenna, which is SMA to a straight MMCX connector, and you get the wiring. This operates with the pin header style. Yeah, so this is locking. That is nice. They claim this is ultra low weight. Let me get a weight on this. So this weighs in at 9 grams. And if we weigh all three items together, we're looking at 14 grams. So 9 grams just for the VTX and 14 grams for the wiring and the antenna. This is set up to go from 25 milliwatts, 100 milliwatts, 400 milliwatts, and 1000 milliwatts. We're going to test that in a little bit. This has the ability to handle from a 2S to a 6S LiPo, that's 6 to 36 volts. It's got a regulated and filtered 5 volt output. For if you want to control the camera off of that, I highly suggest hooking that to the PDB and not running it off the VTX, as to me that's just one more point of failure. I like direct connecting everything. This has a pit mode that we can use smart audio to get to. So the basic layout we have a micro USB, we have our LED here. Over here we have our button for all the functions. We have our MMCX connector. And then lastly, for our wiring, we have a printed diagram of what wires are what. So we have our power, our ground, that's to power the VTX. We have a 5 volt out, we have a ground, and our video wire. This all goes to the camera. I suggest wiring the camera separately to the flight controller or to the PDB. And lastly, we have our 2 crossfire wires. Those are so we can control the VTX via crossfire. This is an interesting sandwich design. It does appear that removal of these 4 screws will allow it to come in half. I just don't see how the halves are connected. So I am not going to take that apart. I apologize. I just don't know if there's pins or if there's a ribbon cable. I can't see any of that. And being that this just came out and I don't want to destroy it, there's that. So these come with Molexes on the ends. Typically we're going to cut these off, but what is nice for testing purposes, it's got the same connector as like this battery here. This is the Tyrannus battery, and this has this, I believe this is the JST design there. So I can power this here and we can bench test this. Before we do that, I want to get our measurements. They measure in millimeters, and we're going to measure this in inches. So this is just over 1 inch by 1.46. There you go, you can read that. Just over 1 inch. I mean, it's so close. Yeah, okay, now it's showing me under 1 inch. So 1 inch by 1.4. And the thickness is 0.2. And if we include the screws, it's 0.24 versus 0.23. all in all, not your smallest VTX, but they say this has the ability to go up to 1 watt. That is exciting. The other thing that I like about it is it has a built-in microphone. So usually we were stuck with the AKKs for a built-in microphone, and those go up to 1.2 watts, but those never actually did the wattage that they said. I believe they, at 1.2 watt, they would only really go up to, I think, 800 milliwatt. And the hotter the device got, the lower the milliwatt output. So it will be interesting to see if this one does the same. To test that, I've got this is the Immersion RC RF meter. This is the Rotorite edition. And the reason why I went with the Rotorite edition over the other one is this one was like $30 cheaper. And the other reason is it comes with wiring that the normal one does not. And I'll show you that. These two antenna wires, and I have looked for these online. They just, I don't know why they just don't exist. These things are unicorns apparently. So these are MMCX and CFL. So this is our CFL connector to, this is a male. Male being the pin in the center. We don't count the outside shroud here as the gender. So this actually has the male end with the CFL, and this one here has the male end with the MMCX. As you can see, if we go to test this with the normal antenna, we've got the two female ends. And they do supply us with this guy, which is a male to male, where we can do this. But I like to use less connections. So we're going to direct connect this VTX straight to the meter. And just put these guys off to the side. We don't need those. So now that this is connected, we can safely turn this on. But the cool thing about this is they also claim that you can leave this turned on without an antenna for a good long while. I'm not going to quote what they say because I don't want to be held responsible if you do that. But just the fact that you can do that and not fry your stuff, even like, you know, quad goes down and your antenna comes off, you've got time to find it and turn it off. So that is cool. So let's go ahead, and before we do that, I want to go ahead and take a measurement. We've got 76.9 Fahrenheit as the temperature of the VTX. We're going to go ahead and plug this guy in. Alright, so the number that we're looking at here is this one right here. We're getting 42 milliwatts, which is, if this is at the 25 setting, then we're doing pretty good. This is already starting to get hot. So at 40 milliwatts, we are outputting, we're already up to 83 degrees, 83.8. So, and this thing did jump to about 100. So that first initial temperature, 78, 82. There we go. If I put it right there, yeah, we're already up to 108.5. So I'm not sure if this is at the 25 or if this is at the 50, but we're already cooking. We are unlocked. So the way we do that is once we're in the standing menu, we push and hold the button for 3 seconds. Then we wait for 1 chirp of the red light. Once that's set, then we press and hold the button again for 3 seconds. And we wait for 2 chirps of the red light. That's the menu that's the band selection menu. Once we're in that, we push and hold this button for 20 to 25 seconds, and then that unlocks the unit. And now we can tell by both lights being on in a standing section that we are in the unlocked modes. So with that, we're going to go ahead to the power level mode. Right now, we should be on 25 milliwatts, and we're already outputting at 37 milliwatts. So to get to the power level, we want to get to the third menu. So we're going to push and hold to get to the first. 1, 2, 3. And then we get one chirp of the red. And then the single chirp of the blue tells us that we're on channel 1, band 1. So now we're on channel 1. So now we want to go to the band selection. So we're going to press and hold for 3 seconds and wait for 2 chirps of the red LED. 1, 2, 3. 2 chirps, 1 blue. 2 chirps, 1 blue. So that means we're in the band selection and we're on A. So if we wanted to go to race, we want to press this button 5. So now band 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we're on race channel 1. So that's where I want that. Now we're going to push and hold the button for 3 seconds and wait for 3 chirps of the red. 1, 2, 3. 3 chirps of the red, and then 1 blink of the blue. That tells us we are on 25 milliwatts. So now with 1 press of the button, we should jump to 100 milliwatts. So we should be on 100 milliwatts. Notice we're not outputting anything higher yet. So we might have to get out of the menu system. So what I'm going to do is go to power level 4. So that's 4 chirps of the blue. One, 2, 3 of the red. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the blue. That should be 1,000 watts. So now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now we are in the limit temperature. Not going to bother with that. I'm leaving that as stock. So now we want 1, 2, 3. And that should put us into the pit mode selection. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, so that's pit mode is off. And then this should be the final menu. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the Crossfire Smart Audio page. And it is set to 2. So that means it's set to Crossfire, which is exactly where we want it. So now I should be able to press and hold this for 3 seconds and get out of the menu. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we are out of the menu system now that both lights are on. And if we look here, we're actually, look at that. We're outputting at 2 watts. 2 freaking watts. Well, 1.97, but wow. Wow, that's a little bit higher than advertised. What do you think? I mean, seriously. Now, let's check this for temperature. I'll check both front and back side. So, the front of this, we're already up to, it went to max 140 degrees. The back side of this is cooking. So if I go to this is 175 degrees. This thing is cooking. Absolutely cooking. Yeah, 181. So yeah, we definitely want some serious airflow off of this. And with that, I am going to take us out of this. Okay, so we're back down to 1, so I'm going to go to 100 milliwatts, 2 flashes. My God, that's hot. As you can see, we have lowered down about 1.87, and this thing is just cooking hot. Absolutely cooking hot. Let's see if I can get a temperature off of it. 194 maximum, 196, 198. We're up to 205 degrees, 206, 207, 207 degrees max. So as you can see, I am happy to get it out of 1 watt, which is actually 2 watt. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so this is now set at the 100 milliwatt output, and as you can see over here, we're outputting 180, 187, 185 milliwatts. So this thing is definitely outputting more than it says by a lot, nearly double. And I'm almost willing to bet that this at 100 milliwatts will output at 200, but because this unit is so high, so hot, it's actually downgrading. So I'm actually gonna unplug it and let it kind of set for a little while. But just on those few outputs, I am thoroughly impressed. We're gonna test 400 milliwatts. We're gonna test it because I feel like it's the right thing to do. So this is now set to the 400 milliwatt power level, and as you can see, we are once again outputting more than the expected milliwatt. So 400, and we're up to 750, 760. Color me impressed. Color me very, very impressed. Wow. So if you haven't stopped the video yet and bought one of these, I suggest it. This is likely the most powerful VTX that we have on the market, period. With that, I am gonna go buy another one pretty much right now. Oh, and while we're at the 400 milliwatt range, let's check the temperature. We are at 149, 152. So it does get pretty hot, even though it does have that limiter on it. We are set back to the 100 milliwatt rating. And now that the temperature has come down a bit, this thing is still, look at that, that's 200 and let's call it 210 milliwatts. So that's over 100. That's over 100% of the rated output. This thing's an animal. Wow. I guess I don't need to cover it any more than I already did. I am thoroughly impressed with this little VTX. So that is a quick look at the TBS Unify Pro 32 HV. And when they say HV, they freaking mean it. This thing is a little animal. I can't believe it. So I'm definitely going to order another one of these. Wow. I can't believe it. Absolutely cannot believe that this thing is putting out 2 freaking watts. And I can probably almost say that this is the highest output VTX on the market, period. So this VTX boasts 37 channels. There are 3 channels that are not on it. Those are on band E, and those are channel 4, channel 7, and channel 8. They are available with a different firmware, but for whatever reason they are taking off. Then there's a lot of channels that you need a ham license for. So there's that, and to get into the higher power we need to unlock it like I did. I do have my ham license, so I was able to do that. So what's nice about this little guy is we can actually use the crossfire to change all the menu settings instead of using this button setup here. That's gonna come in very handy. I happen to like that. With what this thing has jam-packed into it, and with the rated output powers outputting a lot more than it does say, I highly recommend this VTX. I am glad I'm putting this video together to show you guys. This is a very nice piece of kit. TBS coming through in style. Wow. So if you found this video helpful, click that thumbs up button. And if you're as impressed or more impressed than I am, leave me a comment below. And if you haven't done it already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button, because you only get to do it once, and it's fun. And I'll catch you later. Peace.